The current spoiler warning level is butterscotch.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of butterscotch, because we have a two-parter sort of for you. We start off talking about stuff from Gundam Astray. It's a manga, and it's a manga where no one cares about the story, so that's totally fine. Then at the end, we do talk about some stuff from Gundam Breaker Battlelog, which is, a ONA, I think, original net animation. Anyway, I think the Great Gundam Project will cover it in the future. And so we talk about a main machine from that. Not too spoilery, but the machine itself is from future material, and so you could consider it spoilery. We'll give you a spoiler warning at that time. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another episode of Mechanista NG. It's a very Pepsi morning. I'm Six Detmar.
I'm Dylan, yeah. I was like, oh shit, my Pepsi's not open, but we've already hit record and marked, so whatever, I'm just gonna do it real quick at the start.
Sure, I guess now I'm leaving it in, but
What?
Nothing.
Well.
Indeed. Request time. So, roll on that particular sheet. Okay. Alright, well, this is a person who's requested multiple things. So, let's get another die here. Sure. Okay.
Alright.
This is a request from Guy Sarek. Thank you for the requests. I think it's going to be tricky to find one that Dylan won't get instant. I wonder if... I have a fun idea.
Okay.
Visit. Yeah. Okay. Let's find a good. Oh, come on. Put in a tab. So this is a little different, right?
It hasn't loaded yet.
I know. I haven't posted it yet. I'm warning you.
Okay.
I'm warming you up.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought
This is a model kit.
Oh.
The machine is a machine. I'm just giving you the model kit because the art of it that I have that is being supplied to me is of poor quality. So.
Okay. Model kit. Huh. Well, if it has a model kit, that in a way narrows it. It's an interesting knee setup there. Like, Like, cause it's got it's got like a rounded part for the front of the knee. Well, if this is even the knee, I guess is the thing, right? I'm just so used to you going for the knees for whatever reason, so...
Knees are often hard to identify, so...
Yeah. Oh, I know, I'm just... Look.
Yeah, I'm just, that's my justification. I have, by the way, found better art. Found some solid art, because, of course, the Gundam Wiki does a bad job, but MHQ does not.
Okay. Okay, so, this is a Gundam thing. Okay, well, that does narrow that. See, because I was looking at that, and I'm like, The shapes are interesting.
You would have figured out that was a Gundam thing with the next picture, probably. So
Okay, yeah. Expand it a bit. I actually don't got it yet. The leg. That's okay. Now I know what it is. This is an Astray, right?
okay. Can you
This
be more specific,
the
please?
Mirage Frame?
This is the Mirage Frame.
'Cause it's
That's
purple.
correct.
And we already did the blue frame.
We did already do the blue frame and the red frame and the gold frame.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw the thigh design, that's what really gave it away. Which it's just interesting seeing it, because it's just like, yeah, no, I knew what that was as soon as I saw that. But yeah, the Mirage Frame. This is a weird one. So yeah, not gonna be the longest episode, but hey, it'll be a fun one. So the Gundam Astray Mirage Frame. Okay, so what we have here is a weird design, that will get weirder. So obviously, I guess just to go over the design details for the head, and obviously it's from Gundam, it's from Astray, it's from, Versus Astray? Yeah, Versus Astray. And it's piloted by a weird clone of Rondo, because, it's Librarian Works, and as we've been over with Librarian Works, I believe in one of the prior episodes at some point, they make weird copies of everything. They're weird. They're a weird faction. And it's a carbon human copy, which are the other genetically modified people that show up in Cosmic Era.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. Like a carbon copy, these are similar but differing replications. Goofy. Anyway, yeah, so this is, what is it? MBF-P05LM. And yeah, I guess, okay, now to go over the design. The head is your standard Astray head in overall shape. You've got the pointy forehead with the very embedded camera that's like, just on like the top part of it does aim forward in the mohawk, but also like it, has just also a camera like on the very top of it. No V-fin or anything on this one. Instead, what you have are, you have a middle commander antenna style horn, and then on each of the quote-unquote ear parts, like are on the back of the cheek parts, you have a long vertical antenna, so you get 3 vertical antenna in total. The main armor color on this is like a lilac color, and then the frame is a purple color. And then the cameras are kind of like they almost look like a highlighter yellow. Like yellow-green color.
Sure, yeah.
And the other thing that differs on this design is the back of the head. It has another head on it. Which, if you're on the video version of this, you can see on the right that... So, Junichi Akutsu, the guy who designed this, as you may know from, for instance, the Hydra Gundam in G-Unit, or the weird combining Gundams in G-Unit, or a specific design that comes up of his in Build, seems to really like when a head has 2 heads on it, like a front head and a back head. It comes up so often on his designs across, like, literally every Gundam universe he works on. It's really funny to me. I happened to be talking about the Hydra earlier because of, just talking about the G-Unit designs, so it's just very funny to me that he just loves when a unit's head can rotate and be another head. And so it's interesting because, like, the back of the head is very similar to the one that's on the regular Astray, but it's got, like, a bit more on the top so that the top of it ends up being a face. Same with, like, and then the horns, because, they normally are on the ear, now they form like a weird, again, not like a V-fin really, just horns though. And then it has some like extra eyes embedded into the back of the head armor there. And then, but the actual like front-facing face, the normal head, still has the same like cheek vent design as the Astray, where you get this very rounded part with like a little, tick mark in the middle of it, like dividing the vent in there. And also this same old Astray mask, same old kind of boxy Astray chin in there, and whatnot. And then for the body, same thing. This is a very much just an Astray torso. And we add one more color here, the torso color, and also a color that comes up on some of the other parts, is kind of like just a very like, what would you even call that? It's
like a magenta?
Magenta? Yeah, it's more of a magenta. It's like, yeah, more of a reddish purple rather than a bluish purple. So you get that for like the main armor around the body. Then, you've got your embedded chest vents in the purple frame. You've got the purple frame exposed for the areas connecting into the arms. And then in this very middle, as well, like on both the top and bottom of the torso for like the cockpit hatch on the bottom. And then the torso sections are just like they're basically just black, is what I presume is meant to be the color there.
Mm-hmm.
It's because he wants to draw in the detail, he puts a shine on it, but it's just very dark gray for the two lower torso sections. Then this just has your standard Astray shoulders, which is the armor that protects only the front and top and then is bare on the back. The back of the shoulders have all the little vents. The bicep, mostly exposed frame with like a little bar of armor around the top and the bottom, as well as around the back. And it's got these two little parts that hang down like on the sides of the bicep. So just like a little ring of armor around the biceps. Then you get the exposed joint, mostly internal frame for the top armor of the forearms. The one unique thing is on this design so far, besides the head, is the arms have affixed to them like basically just like a set of two blades. These are the what are these? These are the B swords, or bracelet swords. They each have a beam cannon built into the tip, which you can see in the art, and they are just attached under the forearms. And they're attached in a really cool way, because I like the way that they extend off the back, so it looks like it's got an extended elbow, basically. Which, obviously, that's also part of it, because when it does its weird reversal, it essentially makes the arms go backwards as well. So,
yeah.
This is such a strange design in that way. So yeah, it's got the blades. The blades and the beam cannon barrels are a little shorter when it's in its standard command mode. And then for the waist, the crotch and the skirts are all your usual Astray ones. You've got like the very long vertical crotch piece. You've got these very small, basically internalized, or not internalized, but just connected onto the middle piece skirts. Like, these aren't really skirts, yeah. They do have a little bit of a different design, I think. I'm trying to No, that's the same exact design. Yeah, so this is all just Astray, so it's just, yeah. You've got, the little top of the, waist skirt pieces. You've got the rounded side skirt parts. You've got the rear skirt part where it's got the two, the two little flaps, and then the midsection, which is like almost like a tail with the way it folds down. Then the thighs, you've just got armor around the front. The thing that was very obvious to me with this armor, which is it's got the little bolt in the upper outside corner of the armor. This is the thing that gave it away as being an Astray to me, or an Astray, I should say. And then the back of it is bare, and you just have all the free frame back there. The knees, this is where this design starts to get a bit unique. So the knees on this are interesting because on the normal Astrays, this rounded knee part in front of the more square part, they tend to mesh better. Like using the blue frame as an example, just to compare the legs for the video people. The knees on the blue frame, they kind of melt, like, there's this piece that is on the armor of the thigh, and when the knees are popped up, they just kind of meld in there really well. But the legs on this design, on the Mirage frame, the lower legs are decently changed in a lot of parts. And because of that, it also has slightly thicker knee armor, and it actually pops up a little bit. Just something I find interesting, that it's, just a slightly similar yet different thing going on with, like, the knees and whatnot.
The shapes are all the same, but the proportions are altered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, due to there being, like, this has, like, a weird little transformation gimmick, basically, going on with the heel. And, yeah, the proportions are just a little different on, like, the little details on the legs. So, yeah, You've got armor on the sides of the calves, you got the little knee vents. On the back of the leg, you have some thrusters, and more exposed frame on the side. The feet have a really weird connection going on, because they also flip and do a weird thing. So, when it's in the command mode, its regular mode, it's got a very flat foot, purple armor on top, the magenta for the bottom of the foot, as well as for the very flat heel. And then on the very back of the heel, you have attached essentially 3 large blades, that are just like 3 claws. Finally, the backpack, it is just using the stock Astray backpack with the 2 flat beam sabers in it. It's got the 2 bolts on it, and then the little triangular thrusters on the bottom of it. Just the very standard backpack. So, yeah, this is a weird design because it has a transformation. As mentioned before, the head rotates 180 degrees, and then, it's just like a different design of head. The arms rotate 180 degrees, and then bend the elbow all the way up into the back of the shoulders. So the shoulders don't bend at all. It's just the bicep swivels 180 degrees.
And then it's like the hand is like grabbing the back of its own shoulder.
Yeah, almost like, funnily, what that reminds me of is like the way the Woundwort does like its transformation with its arms, how they just kind of fold into themselves like that when it needs to fold up the arms. And then the swords, as mentioned with the way these elbows are, they're basically switchblades. So now they're on the end of that extended elbow, so the swords are now much longer in this mode. And then
it's interesting because you're not wrong that they're like switchblades, but like, no, I think you are kind of wrong, because basically none of the blade is hidden within this. It's just like a 2-jointed blade.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I guess this, looking at it, is just the same length as the forearm, so I guess it's not actually longer, it just flips.
It's just a joint.
It's weird. Look, it's weird.
It's weird.
It's hard to not just think of a switchblade, though, when a blade goes fwink. Even though, the point of a switchblade is supposed to be concealing the blade. While here, it's not really concealing it so much as just flipping it to the other side, and now the guns are on the bottom, and the blade, the more swordy parts are on top. And And then the other thing it does is the feet rotate 180 degrees, and the feet also pivot upward. Like, after they rotate 180 degrees, the, foot and heel kind of pivot upward, and then this claw part flips downward. So then it is using those as the foot, and then the back of the heel. Funnily, the back of the heel is now the floor of the heel. And it's a very weird, it's weird because it's actually very simplistic as a transformation, all things considered. And this is the Gladiator mode, so it's got the two modes. It's got Commander and Gladiator. So some of the other unique features of this design. We don't actually get to see all of them on the art. Does MHQ have, like, the shield and whatnot?
No, it does not.
Okay. I don't think we ever actually get it in art, is the annoying thing. I think it is something that pops up in the, more in the manga. Because it just uses, like, the Astray shield that is, purple. Now, it does mention that it rarely ever has it equipped because the mode, it's meant to be more agile, so it just tosses away the shield. Same with how it can use, like, the Astray beam rifle. Now, the important thing that isn't in this art that is on the design, though, is that or the solid katana on the side, the Ameno Habakiri, which is just, it is a katana that literally has the same exact design as the Gabur Straight and Tiger Pierce. Though it does have variable phase shift technology, so it can change its toughness and colors, which is really funny to me.
Changing the color is pretty good. And also, why would you want to change the toughness if you're like, I need it to break on this swing?
It also has data gathering abilities on making physical contact with objects. This is like how sharks explore the world by biting. Like, this is a reason. Well, like, that's like the reason with sharks why, they bite a lot of the times is, even with humans, it's not like I'm trying to eat the human. It's just, this is unfamiliar. How do I learn about it? I bite. This mobile suit does the same thing, but with a fucking sword. Apparently. And then, of course, it's got the two beam sabers on the back, and then it's got the blades on the feet, which are the anklet swords, and then the blades on the arms, which are the bracelet swords. And then it's got the beam cannons in the bracelet. That's the reason it usually doesn't use, like, the beam rifle and stuff, is it already has two beam cannons built into the arms. So, yeah. So, this is the 5th Gundam that was lost, or it's based on the lost one, right? Because we know that there are supposed to be 5 Astray units. And then when Heliopolis collapses, so it's like, there's the gold frame, the red frame, and the blue frame, and the green frame, and then one of them is, like, lost. And then this is the lost one that was recovered and then built up by Librarian Works. So, it was probably not like this when it was originally made, is the thing. Like, the orb did not, not Orb, who's the ones who made it? Well, it's Morgan wrote. I mean, they are...
It's
Orb,
part of Orb.
But...
yeah,
I forget that they're Orb because they're called Morgan wrote, and usually everything else with Orb is Japanese.
Sure. It is notable, like, this thing has phase shift, right? Well, a variable phase shift, as you noted.
Yeah.
But, like, that's not an Astray thing. That's the whole thing, is they have the hard frames with the, like nothing armor, because they don't have phase shift.
And even the exposed frame has variable phase shift on this. Not only that, it has Mirage Colloid, so it can actually, it can turn invisible, and apparently the fake Rondo, the Rondo Gina Sahaku, pretends like he's the revived, gold frame because he's invisible. And then it's like, actually, I'm in a new one, and I'm not actually Rondo, I'm a carbon copy. Astray's so funny. Anyway, so yeah, the Commander mode and the Gladiator mode are just, one is more of a mid-range mode, and the other one is more like, this is close combat. And of course, it can move the Mirage Frame's backpack to the skirt, so it can equip other things on the backpack, though This one doesn't really ever do it. Anyway, don't worry though, we get an upgrade for this machine. So,
We do.
That's the original form. Also, listeners, we have described the Astrays so many times on this show, and I apologize if my description of, like, the Astray parts was, like, very barren if this is somehow your first Astray episode, but also, I've described these machines so often because we did the red frame, gold frame, and blue frame.
Yeah, if you find it lacking, I would recommend going back to, I would say particularly the red frame episode really is very nucleic about the design of the
it's
frame
just
itself.
It's one of those things where it's just hard to, like, re-describe something again, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like the Astray Mirage frame got mixed with a fucking beetle. Is how this design always feels to me. So
Yeah.
this design, the Astray Mirage frame second issue, after the Mirage frame was defeated, it gets upgraded. And so it wants to do super close range combat. So this has a lot more visible body changes. So the head, instead of having like the weird flippy head, don't worry, it still has a transformation, it still does weird shit, but instead of having a head that rotates, 180 degrees, it now just has a purple Astray head with a huge-ass beetle horn on the front of it.
Yeah, very Hercules beetle.
Mm-hmm. It's got, like, a little split in the middle of it, and it's just, yeah. The torso is still the same torso design, basically. The shoulders have changed. Instead of the normal, shoulder armor, we now have... This is like a weird armor to describe. It's like a... what would even be this shape? It's like a pentagonal armor. Yeah, it's got basically 5 sides, so it's pentagonal with the point of the pentagon facing outward. And then all around the point, it's got like a circular part at the end of that. And it's like a pentagonal part on the front with some black armor in the middle of it and some like rounded parts there too. Some armor around the inside of the plates, like between the two plates, that protects the side of the bicep and the top of the shoulder. And then on the back of it, it's got just like this like large fin extending out of the back. Which these are the fin rifles. These are, of course, actually rifles that can rotate forward, but only in the brute mode, not the tyrant mode. So this is the tyrant mode, the mobile suit. So it can't use these beam rifles when it's in the mobile suit mode. That are like in the middle, like this middle barrel is the beam rifle, and then the rest of it's just like fins for design, I guess. Then the bicep, this is just all Astray. It's basically all Astray in inner frame and, armor up until you hit, not even the forearm, it's the hands, bizarrely. Which we just don't usually get hand attachments in this way, but the back of the palm armor is now a set of 3 claws that can flip over the fist, basically. Or flip over, just flip over and forward. Just like 2 big paddles with claws on them. It's very weird. Then the waist is the same design. The backpack has moved down to the rear skirt for this, so you have, the usual, like, if you've seen it on some of the other... Whenever the other Astrays are wearing, like, the tactical arms backpacks and whatnot, usually their actual Astray backpack moves down to the rear skirt there. So it can still use them for, like, thrust and mobility and whatnot. The legs are really different. So the legs almost have an extender on the top of them because, like, normally the joint is this part and it connects into this, like, side, but now it's got like this weird square bar with like a vent on the front of it, and like a little bit of an overhang on the skirt there, or on the side of it there. It's just a really weird part because this is like a weird extra, like, little extra leg.
It's like a sub-thigh.
Yeah, it's got a sub-thigh on top of its thigh. It's just very strange. And then Then the actual thigh. The actual thigh has an interesting change from your standard, Astray, because the bolt for the armor is now on the inner thigh instead of the outer thigh. So it just switches where the bolt is. Still the same overall shape, it's just the bolt's in the opposite place. Then you've got some tall knees. Then the rest of the leg is actually normal Astray again, which is funny. Why? This is such a bizarre machine. So the rest of the leg is basically normal Astray, other than those little, like, thigh extensions. I guess, are those fins on the back of the leg here? Are those unique to it? I need to look back at the older Astray real quick. Because it's like... I think...
No.
No.
They're a different color, but no. And the original, they're white, but...
Okay,
no.
so those aren't even unique to it. Yeah, so... Yeah. So the rest of the leg is just a stray leg. Until you hit the foot, where you've got these big old paddles with claws on them.
Mm-hmm.
And then the unique new backpack design is... You've got almost what appears to be like a... It feels like it's just based on the BQ head, like, the shape of it. But just, like, on the backpack. And then that also has the beam sabers now moved onto the side of it, and they're plugged into that instead. And that is for, well, that's for the brute mode, which,
Is it too mean to say that this looks like it's from the, like, unpublished G-Quux novelization?
I mean, the problem is I actually like some G-Quux designs, so I don't know if I would see that as mean necessarily, but...
I like some, that's true.
Really
Not very many,
I mean,
but, you know.
I guess you'll have to bleep me for that or something if we remember. Whoops. But whatever. Because I forgot this is not... whatever.
I'll mark it.
Yeah. Apologies, but... you know what? In my recording, just to make that easier for you, it is in the 31-minute mark.
I've already made a mark. You're fine.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. Then we've got the brute mode. So what this does is it lays down the legs. So the reason it has the thigh extensions is so that the legs can, like, swivel on them. They have, like, a secondary joint on the side of them, and then they, like, it's so weird. Like, you can see it there on the side, you know what I mean? Like, let me pull up, like, the model so I can show how it transforms, because this thing transforms in a weird way. Because here's the thing, the Astray was not made with transformation in mind originally, and so Akutsu is just like, how do I make my design that I made not to transform?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very strange. And bizarrely, like a lot of the Seed versus Astray stuff, this actually did get a model. So, let me find it. It in fact, got a 1/100th.
Please, folks, do note the hands that are just resting behind the claws.
Yeah, it just rotates the wrist down so that the hands just have the paddles down. So, okay, yeah, here. So, this is so weird to show, but you can see what I mean. The reason it has the sub-thighs is so that the leg can pivot around them. Because you can't tell. It looks like they're connected on top of each other, right, when you're looking at the mobile suit mode, but they're not. They're connected via that side part. So then it rotates on that side hinge. Yeah. And that way it can then rotate the leg in order to do the little, reverse joint weird legs that are definitely just normal humanoid legs that you have bit rotated, almost 180 degrees around.
There's no way when fucking
I can't
guy
imagine this moving.
Murakumo was fighting this thing and saw this thing transform. That was probably its greatest attack yet, because he must have burst out laughing. What a fucking ridiculous thing. Mm-hmm.
It's so weird, because, I can't imagine how this moves when doing the four-legged mode. I hope, because GJ Eternal didn't have this one. It had the regular Mirage Frame, but I'm pretty sure if I remember right, it doesn't have the Mirage Frame second. And I want them to add it because I want to see how it moves. Because the arms and legs don't bend in a way that I imagine looks normal for quadrupedal movement. And then of course to also emulate the Bukyu, funnily, you know how it attaches the beam sabers on the sides of the head here, facing back?
I do.
Those are not the sabers though. These little openings on the sides of the head are the sabers. You would think that maybe the beam sabers would, like, I don't know, have like a fold out thing, so they would be the sabers there, but no, it's the backpack parts there on the...
Is it like I mean, there's no need for this, that's probably not the case, but is it like they're redirecting the blade, like it plugs in there and then it just comes back out there?
No, it's
There's no reason to do that. Yeah.
No, it's just... God. Anyway, so yeah, this is essentially just the mobile suit is folded in a bizarre origami way. And you've kind of ended up with a really jank-ass Bukyu here. I don't think this form is very good. I like the design of the mobile suit is the funny thing. I think the mobile suit mode is kind of fun, because it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tyrant mode kind of sucks. Or, sorry, the brute mode kind of sucks. So yeah. Also, sorry, I forgot to mention, these are the C swords, because they're compact compared to the original Astray Mirage Frame. So, the C sword A type, which is the anklet type, and the C sword B type, which is the bracelet types.
Sure.
And then, yeah, you have the Saber Fang, which I mentioned, and then the Fin Rifle. And then it just uses all the same bullshit as the regular Astrays.
You gotta love the, like, Google Translate, fucking posting on the Gundam Wiki for the history of this. During the rematch with Guy, the Gundam Astray Mirage Frame second edition's brute force attack was useless as Gina fell for Guy's mind trick and was unable to fight properly. I hate when I fall for another person's mind trick.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on with that sentence?
He got mind freaked. It was Chris Angel.
In Episode 5, Frenzy, the image of Guy's defeat by the Mirage Frame second issue was nothing more than Gina's imagination. What?
This, I'm gonna mark this article as needing some revision.
Anyway, yeah, and it still has the katana and all that. So, yeah, nothing too crazy. The brute force attack, by the way, is it circles the enemy at extremely high speeds and then launches an attack randomly. And it's so fast that it looks like you're being attacked by multiple units.
Sure, I've seen Bleach. I get it.
Okay.
You know what I'm referencing, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't know very much about Bleach. I saw a little bit of it and fell off quite early.
Let me see if I can find... Unfortunately, there's so much material that it's hard to find the bit that I want. But you carry on while I'm working on this.
The other thing I was going to mention is, so the Brute Head's main thing is it has melee combat sensors, which, quote-unquote, sacrifice long-range data gathering in exchange for optimum efficiency in close range, which I don't know how having better sensors helps you in close range. I feel, look, I like a lot of the Astray units, but I feel like the people who actually write Astray are kind of dumb sometimes. Because that just sounds like a very dumb guy thing to say. I understand a camera being more, like, optimal for close range in some specific circumstances, but just the way it is described here is like, what? Then again, to be fair, this article looks very machine translated all over the place, so the awkward wording might not actually be the Fulta versus Astray, and might just be the translation comes out looking real fucking weird. And then also the beetle horn is the Mirage colloid sensor antenna that can spread Mirage colloid particles around them. and also detect cloaked units with it. Anyway, it gets beat again.
Anyways, so here's basically Ichigo and Bleach doing the fucking what's the stupid thing called, the brute force attack, if you will.
Oh, okay.
He's running in a circle really fast, and there's multiple of him.
Okay.
That's all.
After images of mass.
Yeah, I don't remember the explanation there exactly.
And then finally we get the Astray Mirage Frame 3rd now. Which, is just... This is a funny one. Because it's just we put more stuff on it.
But it's also like, we put the parts from the first on it?
Yeah, basically.
It's like 1 + 2 = 3.
Okay, so yeah, like, you look at it, and so the things that
the only
changes...
picture we have, so I guess I might as well just put it center stage.
The arms have added the... Basically, it adds the original... Yeah, just the original equipment, right? From the original.
Mm-hmm.
So, now it has... these arm blades. The flippy arm blades. It's got the little arm... So, it's got the compact swords and the normal ones. So, the feet have this really weird effect of having the 3, like, bladed toes, but then having, like, the heels. They're also the many blades. We don't have art of the other forms of this guy, but, give me 1 second. I can't remember.
It does supposedly have, this is brute mode. It's supposed to also have tyrant mode and gladiator mode. Well, I guess I'm assuming this is brute mode.
Okay, here we go. Yes, so, unfortunately for us, only one of these modes is shown by... Well... No, Dalong did do all of them. Okay, so, basically, here's what the, old Dalong, image is here. So, the arms rotate and the feet... So, it can't rotate the feet and do the feet thing anymore. So, really, in reality, that other mode is just it flipping the arms. At least for the mobile suit. Now, it does have the brute mode, which it looks woefully weird when it has these long blades on the arm.
Oh, boy.
I feel like that can't move real good with those.
Yeah, that seems like maybe you do that in 0G only, at which point, what was the purpose?
Yeah, at which point, how is this running fast in 0G? That doesn't compute.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, the worst thing about these designs is minus the transformation. I actually think this is a pretty cool design. I just think the transformations are dumb.
No.
I
could give you on the first one, but
I like the arm blades and I like the beetle horn.
That's true. I do like those two elements. I think in every version of this, its flippers look stupid.
The back parts, yeah. I think the back parts,
yeah.
Oh, and these, yeah.
Hey, here, let's high five.
Yeah. The little feet flippers. I think the compact claws kind of suck, is the thing on the second form.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
That's why I like the third form, is it just gives the more interesting weapons that the first had back. What a bizarre series of designs going on here. And yeah, that's it, though. It's just the 3. And then, so hopefully the third time they just explode the Rondo Gina Sahaku clone and he's gone. I'm just saying that Guy needs to learn to fucking carry through and finish, because you cannot keep beating a guy in such a way that he keeps coming back with like, okay, now here's my second the first revise, second revise, third revise. You can't do that. Which, I mean, you know what? Actually, thinking about it in Gundam, that happens quite a bit. Looking at Jared, that's just what Jared did the whole time. But nevertheless.
Yeah.
Alright, well, that was a short one. And hey, we've done a lot of long ones lately, so I'm okay with a short one.
We've done a lot of short ones lately, too.
Where can people find you?
Give me a second.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not done.
Oh, why are we not done?
It's nothing. You haven't done anything wrong, Dylan. Don't worry. But
what have I forgotten? What have I done?
it's just like, well, listen, we might as well, like, this listener who made this request has made a number of other requests, and one of them we could do quickly. So let's just do one more.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
After this point, we're talking Gundam Breaker Battlelog, and so if you want to be completely spoiler-free when the Great Gundam Project gets there, you should tap out now. But we don't go particularly into plot details, so if you're not that sensitive, you should be fine.
I do have to laugh sometimes, because sometimes we run long and it's like, oh no, but we're also like, whenever it runs short, we're like, okay, we have to add just one more.
This person,
Oh yeah, no. I just
no shade.
look.
This person requested 9 things, and the way the list is these days, it's like I roll the requester, and then I will roll within their list of requests, and so.
Oh, did we get like
who
a
knows
surge
when
of
we'll get them again?
requests relatively recently?
No, this person just requested a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
And because I changed it so it's like, listen, no matter how many things you request, you get one entry. So I will roll who requested, and then if you requested multiple things, I'll roll again within your list.
Okay, that
so
makes
everybody
sense.
has equal
rather
odds.
than just dominating the list by sheer number. Okay,
But that also means I don't know when we'll talk about this person's requests again. So here's another knee.
Okay. Ooh. Oh, I know this. Oh, I really know this shit. This is very familiar.
That's right.
to
It's
me.
the Wing Zero.
No. Oh, why is this familiar? That wedge in the middle of the knee there is really familiar to me. Who is this? This is clearly a later show. This is like digital art era Sete here.
Interesting. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. You can't say that because now I'm doubting it.
I'm sure. That's why I do it.
What the fuck is this knee? I know what this is. I think I've built this. This looks so familiar to me. Maybe I haven't. That's the thing. Maybe I'm gaslighting myself, though. So it's like, I don't know, actually. But this looks really familiar to me.
I mean, I don't know what you've built. I will say it is possible to have built this.
Okay. Can you zoom out a little more? I can't just get on the knee, apparently. I'm dumb.
I guess you're just not good enough. You're not strong enough. That's fine.
Look, sometimes I'll nail these instantly, and sometimes this one is like... this one's bothering me because this one's really familiar.
Give you a little more. If I go up or down too much, you're going to figure it out pretty quick.
What is this knee? I know what this knee is. Oh, this makes me so mad. I know what this is.
Dylan doing the Terminator 2. Have you seen this knee?
I know it. I hate this because I'm like looking at it and I'm like, well, because this is a really unique knee design. And so it's like, I know I've seen it. I have to get a little bit more. Oh, fuck.
Have more knee.
I see what you've done here.
I have given you a little clue. To be fair.
Is this, no, this isn't the 00 diver.
Nope.
No. Is it the... Whoa. See, like, the vents are really throwing me off on the that's the thing. These thrusters on the bottom of the knees. It's like, what does this? This feels so unique that I feel like I should be getting this instantly, and I'm not, and I'm getting mad at me for not being able to get this.
I feel like I could imagine why this might not be a design you immediately think of.
It's just very familiar to me, though. It's not...
I'm giving you one more clue before we give away the game.
Okay, one more. Why is that so familiar? Oh, wait, is this the... Oh, Blazing Gundam!
This is the Blazing Gundam.
Oh, God, I hate that I didn't get that. Okay, yes. I do, in fact, own the model of this, and I do, in fact, have it in that mode, because I think that head is a cool design. Ah. I was, like, staring at it for so long, and I'm just like, I've built it. You know what? It doesn't help that it's, like, all white, so, like, it all being one color, it's so hard to, like, just be like, well, I mean, it's clearly a Gundam.
Well, so the part where I said I gave you a little hint in that wider picture is you could see a little bit of the red at the bottom there.
See, funnily, I was like, is that the heel? I was like, does it have like a really like weirdly tall heel? And it's like, no, okay. Alright, yeah, so this is the Blazing Gundam from Gundam Build Battlelog.
Breaker Battlelog. But
Gundam
yes.
Breaker Battlelog, right. Not Build, Breaker. Right, because this was a spin-off of the mobile game. And, which is so funny to think about. Because, it had unique designs, unlike the mobile game, which did not have as many unique designs in it, really, all things considered. But this OVA had a lot of cool, unique ones. Right, and this is also, of course, piloted by everyone's favorite, girl from Gundam Breaker 3, whose name I forgot.
Everybody's favorite.
Yeah.
No, come on. Okay, hang on. I got you. Are you ready? There. Heavenly.
I know what she looks like. She's got her little green jacket on that has like the she's got like a green jacket on and then like a yellow sundress underneath and like shorts. And she's got like twin tails, but I just don't,
say that
I don't remember
the close-up of her knee did not do the art any favors.
Yeah. The problem is, I don't remember any of the characters' names from Breaker, because I don't really care about the story in the Breaker games. Even though I still, was like, yo, I'm glad she showed up, but also, it's weird, right? It's because I played Breaker 3, and so her getting to show up was kind of fun. The other thing was this. I didn't play Breaker 3 in English like everyone else. That's the other reason why people probably know her better than me. Because
okay. No, that one I'm not accepting.
Why?
Her name gets said out loud and it doesn't fucking change in English. And you can tell a name.
Hold on, let me guess.
She's disappointed in you.
Is it Misa?
It's Misa, there you go.
Okay, I was like, I know it's a shorter name. I had to concentrate. The thing is, though, yes, that would help with the name, but it just doesn't help with retaining the characters when I'm playing the game in Japanese with Japanese text. And so it's just
and you're just broadly not trying to absorb audio information in the same
Well,
way.
it's kind of, it's... I know some Japanese, but not enough that, even if I focused on it, I wouldn't really be absorbing it, you know? That being said, the Blazing Gundam. So, this is a very weird, interesting design that I think rules. So, starting with the head, we've got a very rounded head. It's got the God Gundam double V-fin thing going on, and double mohawk, which, to be fair, this design is essentially a remixed, God Gundam, in many ways. So we've got, it's got the mohawk on top of the head, which has a small V-fin, and then a larger mohawk below that, which then has a larger V-fin. Interestingly, the mohawk cameras are only front-facing. It doesn't have any cameras on the back of the head. The head has a very rounded shape. You've got the 4 Vulcans also. You've got, like, the upper Vulcans as well as, like, these little cheek ones back here above the vents. It's got, like, a weird, instead of a forehead gem, it's got, like, a weird little coffin, almost coffin-shaped, like, you know, it's a taller hexagon, just kind of on the forehead part. But it's still in white. It's just, like, a little, like, detail that's kind of embossed on there. You get 2 cheek, like, vents that are kind of sharp on the bottom of them. And then my favorite part, you get, like, a really weird face for a Gundam because it's plain. It just is, like, a rounded face with no vents or anything. And
yeah, it's
eyes.
really striking. It's really good.
The thing is, Gundam just doesn't do faces like this. Other mecha do, but Gundam doesn't. So when something in Gundam does it, it's like, oh, I think this is really cool. Because it's just unique. And then the back of the head, you have 2 vents on the back along with, like, a large panel line in the middle. For the torso, you've got like, 2, I presume these might just be thrusters on the top sides of the torso. See, this is where the God Gundam had, the extra machine cannons is in the clavicle collar area around here. But these are just, like, clearly, like, thrusters or something. Just because
or heat vents or something. Yeah, exhaust. Who knows?
Then you've got some yellow armor around the top. You get embedded yellow chest vents. You know, it's yellow around the edge, and then on the inside you've got the 3 yellow slats. You've got a little cockpit hatch on the bottom of the upper torso there. You've got 2 torso sections. The Gundam here is a bit slim. It's meant to look a bit more femme, obviously. It's supposed to be like a feminine God Gundam in different ways.
I think the idea is it's sort of like the rising. It's like
the rising. Yeah.
It's like the as the God is to the shining, this is to the rising is the intent.
Yeah. Then you've got really cool shoulder armor. I really like the way this shoulder armor is done because it's like layered. You've got like an upper shoulder armor that is you've got like a white base plate and then white armor going around the top, and then that has some vents on the edge of it. And then below it, it has like a second pauldron almost, and it's just like a simple white pauldron with like a little tick mark that sticks out. But I just think this like layered armor looks really cool. The bicep has a bit of a bump on the outside top of it. Then the joint, it's just a standard, joint. For the forearms, square forearms, and then one of the really interesting changes is this has like what is essentially like mini versions of the backpack wings of the God Gundam, but on the forearms. Like these are just like little extendable wings on the forearm, which I think is really cool. They're just like, I don't know if they really have a purpose, but they look cool. Which matters more to me than anything else. Then around the wrist, you've just got like a cuff around the wrist. It's still in white, and then the hands are just hands. For the waist, you've got a crotch piece that has like a bit of a... It's not really black on this design, it's just like a very dark kind of blue color for both the lower torso and then this little piece that's like embedded in the crotch plate. You have 2 front skirts. The front skirts have like a thicker bump on top with 2 little like divots in there, and then just a weird shape for the lower armor. It's just kind of got like a weird like cutout shape to it. And then the side skirts, you've got kind of how do I describe the shape? They almost look like cross-like or something, because it's got like the little...
They look like little shields.
Yeah, they're just like little shields that have... it has a little circle on the outside that is holding the beam sabers. And then the rear skirt plate is also weird in that you've got like a large plate around the main area. You've got a bigger boxy part in the middle of it, and then you've got these little trapezoids going around that middle part. And then underneath it, you've got like another layer of skirt that then has like two large square boxy thrusters on the bottom of it. So it's just like a really weird... Lots of weird layering on this suit, which I think is really cool. The thighs are very simple. It's just your Okawara thighs with a large panel line going down the middle on the front and back. Though this is definitely not an Okawara design. This is like, who did this one? Give me 1 second.
So I was looking at it, and I couldn't figure it out, because obviously Breaker Battlelog has a number of artists associated with it, and I'm just getting lists of those, so it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
Okawara did do design for Breaker Battlelog,
Yeah,
though.
I just don't think he did this one, because like looking at the shapes on it, it just doesn't feel like his later art style to me.
Could
but
it be
I don't know.
Ebikawa?
I could
seems...
I could see it being Ebikawa, possibly. I don't know. It's weird. Like I said, it just... Well, because, like, okay, so in Breaker Battlelog, like, for instance, the Helios is a design that's by Okawara, and you look at the art for the Helios, and, like, the pose it's in, and you can tell that's an Okawara design.
Yes.
You know? Especially just given how off-model parts of it look in the Sete here. Like, look at, like, how big the one tier is on that side rather than on that side, even though they're symmetrical. Like,
yeah, I mean, so the list of artists for Breaker Battlelog is Ebikawa, Takegawa, Okawara, Washio, Ando, and Kuramochi.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know Ando and Kuramochi off a glance, but this doesn't look like Washio, Okawara, or Tokugawa to me.
Yeah, no, I think this has to
be... Or Takegawa, excuse me.
Yeah, Takegawa. This definitely feels like it's gotta be, like, to me, this feels like it's more of an Ebikawa design, honestly, which is surprising to say, given that it's a God Gundam variant, but just, like, the pose and stuff, you know, and, like, the way it's drawn, feels, you know, a bit more like him. But, who knows. Anyway, for the lower legs, though, speaking of, like, weirdly layered armor, this is the knees also have that going on, because you've got, like, the top of the knee that is going up, and then the sides of the knee are, like, thicker layers of armor going around the sides. Like, when you look at it from the front, you can see they are, like, actually, like, two thicker plates around the side. And then you just got this huge wedge in the middle. And it's just a really unique look, in my opinion, that I really like. And then it's got this large thruster on the bottom of the leg on the front of the calf. And then the legs thin out as you go towards the bottom. They also have a thruster on the back of them. I believe the thruster, I think it has some, like, vertical movement on it, if I'm remembering right. And then some panel lines for the lower leg detail. The other change now, so you have the backpack of the of the God Gundam on the arms. Then you have the arm cuffs on the feet here. So the ankle armor is designed in such a way that it looks very reminiscent of the arm cuffs that the God Gundam has that fold over the hands when it's doing, like, the God finger. And
which is sort of emphasizes the fact that this is kind of a kick-focused design.
Yeah. And instead it doesn't have, like, the thumb claws on it, but it just has these two, like, claws on top and then, like, the middle yellow claw, instead of having the two claws like the ones the God has on the arms. But, you know, very reminiscent of that. And then for the feet, you've got kind of an interesting design, just because, like, so the top of the foot is plain white, and you've got these little cuts in it, but you've got a thruster on the very front of the foot, and then you've got, like, more around, like, the sides of the foot, like, on the...
I don't think they're thrusters.
I mean, these are probably emitters for the thing it does.
Right.
And then you've got a little bit, not like a super high heel, but you have a decent distinction between the front of the foot and the heel here. And then the backpack is kind of a weird, simple one. You've got two... It's like a backpack that is popped open. Which, to be fair, that is common on the G designs, because they have, like, the weird cars that plug into the backpack, and usually the thrusters pop up from that. So it's just got, like, these two popped up thrusters in a mostly red backpack, and then the sides of the backpack have these little wings. And the wings are vertical, and each of the wings has like a little extra handle sticking off the side that itself is holstering the beam tonfas, which are the other cool thing this has.
Tonfa are some of the coolest weapons. Nobody uses Tonfa in Gundam. This is sick.
Yeah. I think this machine fucking rules. Yeah. This is just like such a cool looking machine. Oh, also have to mention, it does have the blazing mask, which is just a because for the purpose of the game, it is it protects against debuffs, so the opponent cannot cheat or use debuffs on you when you've got the mask on. So it's just like extra equipment for that. And the mask is like a red mask that frames around the front of the face, still has openings for the Vulcans, covers up the lower Mohawk forehead piece with just like a classic Gundam forehead jewel, and then the mask around the face, though, it gets like a red around the top and bottom of the face, but keeps the middle of it open, which is kind of an interesting look.
Makes it more Menpo-ish.
Yes, yeah, it's very Menpo looking. And yeah, so for the armaments, you've got the Vulcans, you've got the Beam Tonfa, which are really cool. They're Tonfa, right? And they can be used either as physical Tonfas, or they have the beam emitter at the end, so you can essentially, use them like a really long forward-facing saber. Then you've got the beam swords on the hips. Then you also is able to do the blazing shot, which is just like the god shot, when the god just fires an energy blast from its hands. And then Bakunetsu Bakusai Blazing Kick, or Erupting Breaking Blazing Kick, which is all the thrusters on the body go to full output. It does a high-speed jump kick. It does a fucking cool-ass rider kick to the opponent, instead of a Godfinger, which is cool. And then you can see the arms actually, so the arms do still operate as thrusters, so it's just extra thrust both for doing weird maneuvers, and also for accelerating punches and whatnot, and other, like, melee attacks with the arms. Which is pretty cool.
Do you think if the Bakunetsu Bakusai Blazing Kick doesn't finish them, she can then do Feet End? This is a pretty good one.
I hate that so bad. I hate that so much. Anyway, yeah, this suit's great. I think this is a really cool one.
I think it's kind of funny that's it's just I don't know, just an interesting design choice that, like, specifically the lore of this is that it removes the core lander in order to, like, to make it, like, weight lighter, but it still specifically has the core lander backpack.
Yeah, that's the thing that's weird. Like, the backpack is still very core lander-esque. It doesn't, which I get it. It's just trying to look like a Gundam from the show, so I get it. But the reason the backpacks look like that is because of the core landers. But it's a little weird. But look, it's fine. And yeah, I was gonna say this might be
the best design to come out of Breaker Battlelog.
I was gonna say that, and I'm thinking, I really like the Command Quanta and the
Command Quanta is really cool,
and I like the Live Lance Heaven quite a bit personally.
I think the Live Lance Heaven is a fun idea that actually looks pretty bad, but
I think the model,
mostly because I think the Lance looks, that's fine.
I think the model looks pretty good. I think it looks better than the art because, I think these colors are kind of difficult to look at in the art, if I'm being honest.
Sure. I think the Lance looks bad.
Oh, you don't like the weird Sazabi axe turned into a lance?
I think it on the end of a pole looks wrong to me.
Do you like it in the scythe mode?
No, that's what I'm saying is I don't like it in the...
Oh, you don't like this mode?
Right. I think the other mode looks a little weird, but looks better because it looks just more like a elongated Sazabi blade.
Yeah.
The scythe mode, I think, looks kind of stupid.
Fair enough. I'm just grumpy with that one because it also has a Versago chest, but those Versago chest pieces were not labeled. Like the Death Scythe Hell parts that are recycled were labeled Death Scythe Hell, so it's one of those things where we know we're getting a high grade Death Scythe Hell. But the Versago parts that are used for the torso were not labeled Versago. Which, to be fair, they're different enough from like the actual Versago that I get it, but look, I want us to get a high grade Versago. Like a modern one.
Sure.
Also, it's just a weird eclectic mix of units, being the Death Scythe Hell and Versago together, but also being like a Pope rather than a Devil Man is funny. Anyway, Blazing Gundam though. Blazing Gundam's great. Great design. We're agreed on that. Alright, now 6. Where can we...
Okay.
Oh?
Sorry. There is just one little thing that I noticed while doing this.
Okay.
We're having a Gundam Wiki moment, right?
Okay.
So this is obviously the Blazing Gundam is a Misa Satsukino design. She has 4 other designs associated with her. Well, I guess 5. Do I not have the custom?
Well,
here?
if I'm remembering right, she's got a couple of designs she uses in Breaker 3 that like alter as you're playing the game.
That's the thing. There's variants of the Azalea.
Right.
So I guess I won't post the original. Well, let's see. That's fine. I'm gonna post some images here from the Gundam Wiki of the Azaleas.
Yeah, that works.
Here's this one.
So that's like, is that her?
Don't say anything.
Okay.
Because we're gonna have a fun moment at the end of this.
Okay.
These are the 5... Well, I'm going to change that. Whatever. I'll figure it out in a second. These are the 5 Azaleas. Now, Dylan, these are the pictures from Gundam Wiki. Tell me what's wrong here.
I don't... Wait, what is wrong?
What's wrong with these pictures? What looks off?
What looks off? I mean...
On one page, they like properly acknowledge this. On most of them, they do not. Well, I guess if you scroll down, you can see...
Okay, elucidate this for me, because I don't actually know, I don't think.
These are all recreations from Breaker 4.
Oh.
That like a fan made themselves.
Oh.
And like, you look at the originals, like they do look like this is what the machine basically looks like. They're good looking, right? But like, let's compare that Azalea to this first one. That's the first Azalea. Here's what it looks like in the mobile game. And like, obviously,
well, the mobile game, the mobile game has the problem of it doesn't pose them with the weapons there.
Right. I mean,
so
but like, it's more the fact that this is, a different like rendering engine and everything. I don't know.
To be fair,
I feel like
I think Breaker 4 is actually more accurate to Breaker 3 than it would be to Breaker Mobile, which is funny.
But in Breaker Mobile, this is the actual thing that this machine appears in that game. You see it.
Yeah, that's true.
This is something that someone threw together by hand, and it looks great.
What I'm saying is that here's the thing: she originally uses the Azalea in Gundam Breaker 3, though, right?
Sure.
Right. I think that the Gundam Breaker 4 model here is more likely to look more accurate to how it looks in Breaker 3 than this is, because Gundam Breaker Mobile has a unique look.
I agree, but it's more accurate fan art.
I mean, oh yeah, no, if we want to talk about that aspect, yes, of course, I'm like, you shouldn't be using these recreations because that's fan art. You should be taking pictures of Gundam Breaker 3. And I get that Bandai... No, Bandai does let you take screenshots in Breaker 3. It doesn't let you take video, but it did let you take screenshots, so there's actually no reason not to just load up Gundam Breaker 3 and do that. I'm not doing it because I don't edit the fucking wiki. I'll just complain about it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, other people who care about editing should care enough to do it.
I will say, though, it does look good.
Oh yeah, no, I think the Azalea is a fun
That's
design.
the problem, is it's a good design, and the Breaker 4 engine looks good.
Mm. Yeah, she has such an interesting upgrade progression, too. It's like, okay, normal, you've got the, it's the head from the Akatsuki, this is the Shenlong's torso, right?
I believe that's right, yeah.
And then the arms these are Impulse arms. Rosen Zulu legs, those are really obvious. You've got the EZ-8/Ground Gundam, like, short shield. You've got a Zaku machine gun, and you've got the Camphor backpack. Then, she switches to the Zaku Kai machine gun, and she adds builder's parts, because that's a feature in that game, and the builder's parts are, the triple missile pods, and she adds these to the legs. Then, later on in the game, she changes the backpack from the Camphor to the Virtue, and then uses the Gelgu Jaeger rifle. Hasn't added any new builder's parts or anything. Then, we go to that one. This one adds a lot of things. I think these latter two ones might be from the DLC rather than the end of the game, even. So,
I believe this one is not, but the second one is.
Okay, so this might be her final in the base game. And so, this one here, what we have changed now is the shoulders are... the torso is now a Kyrios torso. It's still the Akatsuki head, Kyrios torso, Dynamis arms, Rosen Zulu legs. We have gone to, I believe this backpack is the powered gym, Canard from, Build Fighters Try, with the Gatling guns. Because it's got the two versions. It's got this version right here, which she is using the other guns. And then
that's the next upgrade. So we'll talk about that in a second.
It's funny. But... It's just funny that she goes through both backpacks from that. And then she's got like Sturmfaust as the builders as additional builders parts as well. Oh, and she switched the shield now into the Pale Rider shield, which is the same shield that the Gem Striker uses, but they're evil and never put the Gem Striker in these goddamn games. But they did put the Pale Rider in, so that's in there. And then finally...
I think they put the Striker in 4, though.
No, they didn't.
No?
They still haven't put the Gem Striker in, no. Its weapon is still in, annoyingly.
Oh, that's probably what's tripping me up, is the weapon.
The Beam Spear is still in. It's just a grandfathered-in weapon that they never put the original suit for. Just like how they've never put the Super Zaku F-2000 in the game, even though the giant double-handed heat hawk that it uses, has been in the game since the first game. Anyway, then her final upgrade is this has to be DLC because that's the Aegis head, I believe. Is that the
That's
Aegis?
the Justice head.
Oh no, that's the Justice. Which I think, was the Justice also a DLC unit? I can't remember.
Don't ask me, I don't know.
I don't think the Justice was, actually. I think the Aegis was. But anyway, we've got Justice head, this torso. Is this a build, is this the build burning torso?
That is the Gundam X torso.
That's the Gundam X torso. Oh. Okay, I got thrown off because I forgot about the Gundam X. Oh, right, those are normally gray inner frame bars. She just has them colored blue. My brain was seeing these as cameras or something, or like Plavsky things, you know what I mean? Just because of the blue. But no, I think, yeah, okay. And then the arms are Tuggy's 3 arms, which have, the heat shield on the one arm and then the Dober gun. She's using the H2's rifle, the Hyper Dodds rifle or whatever. I actually can't recognize what that shield is on the arm there, just because that angle is kind of hard to see. It looks like a rounded shield.
Here's a back view for you then.
Oh, that's the is that the is it the Shenlong or
Shenlong Endless Waltz?
Yeah, Endless Waltz version. That's why it's larger, I think, because I think the Shenlong Endless Waltz has a bigger one. And then the legs are the Rosen Zulu legs still. She will never change out of those, which I honestly...
Yeah, that's the only part that stays true.
Yeah, and then the backpack is changed to the Jim Canard, but with the rifles instead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then finally, she has a lot of builder's parts on this. She has the Zeta Plus backpack wings on the shoulders here. She has gotten rid of the missile pods and she's put the knee crushers, which are the S Gundam's knees, as like extra like heel or like foot parts there, coming out of the sides of the legs, which is pretty cool looking. I like that look. Yeah, no, it's fun.
I mean, a thing to note is you call these the Jim Canards, and I don't think you're wrong, but they are also builder parts.
Oh wait, go to the back view. What backpack is she using then? Oh no, she's using the Jim. Oh, that's the Stark GN backpack. But she's also put a GN drive on it.
Like a true power gamer.
Yeah, I know, everyone puts a GN drive on. You gotta put at least one hyper mode causing thing on your suit, and the GN drive is just the easiest one to throw on there. That's so funny. Yeah, okay, yeah, no, you're right. Actually, do we have a rear view of this one? Because I want to see what backpack is she using in that one. Is it still the Jim... the Stark Jigen backpack, or... No, she is using the dual Assault Shroud backpack, and then the Jim Canard, or not Canard. I keep saying Canard, it's the, Cardigan, there we go.
Yeah.
I was saying the wrong Jim.
You were saying it with such confidence that I was like, I thought it was the Cardigan, but I guess I'm just wrong.
I'm thinking about the Cardigan because I was looking through G-Gen Eternal's data, and I was like, oh, because the Jim Canard is in that from Ecole du Ciel, the weird, training gym from that. That's like the one other unit in there besides the Le Signet. Anyway.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, yeah, what were you gonna say?
Another power gamer moment. The Azalea powered, which is like the first proper, technically her first upgrade is like the builder's parts plus the machine gun. Her first actual one is the Azalea powered though. And then a true power gamer got the micro missile builder parts because those things are fucking busted.
Those have been busted in every goddamn game. Oh, and she's got she's also got the grenade rack on the back. I didn't notice that. That's funny. Like just like the gym grenade rack. Sideways there. Yeah, no, those missiles are so funny. They're good in Breaker 3 and they were amazing in Breaker 4 because of the way you can link the parts together in Breaker 4. So those missiles are actually extremely busted in Breaker 4, and I love it. Well, the thing that's really fun is, so whenever you kill a unit, depending on how many parts are broken off the unit, in 3 and 4, each part that is broken off of the enemy has a chance to drop things, right? So you want to break them apart as much as possible because when you kill an enemy that's all in one piece, that's one chance at a drop. If you kill an enemy that is in 5 pieces, that's 5 times as much drops, basically, drop chances. So when you have the micro missiles, which just do 1 billion hits, which are likely to just break all the enemy parts off, and also just ground them to the ground, it's just so perfect. And they're really strong. And they're vertical. So the thing about them being vertical is the enemy torso, which is the important part to finish off, doesn't fly away. Like if you shoot with like the Thunderbolt missiles and stuff, some of the ones that fire forward, the torso might fly away or the enemy might get knocked around. But I've noticed that if you just use the vertical ones, it knocks them into the ground, like where they're standing, and that's what you want. So, yeah. Goofy Breaker meta moments. You didn't play Breaker 2, right?
No, I did not.
Breaker 2's meta was hilarious because they were like, well, how do we make hand-to-hand good? Well, mobile suits don't have like a good inherent hand-to-hand ability, so what we'll do is we'll make it so the EX moves do like a ridiculous amount of percentage, right? Oh, but also we're gonna put the Build Strike's arms in the game, and the Build Strike arms will do the martial arts, and will do a ton of damage. So, basically, when the game launched, pre-patch, which was kind of a mess for Breaker 2, the strongest thing to do was just go hand-to-hand with the, like, any of the martial arts arms, especially the, Build Burnings arms, and just utterly, beat the shit out of, like, perfect grades and stuff with your fists. It was great. That did change, eventually. They changed things around. Early Breaker 2 also had a very, very glaring issue of, so Breaker 2 has probably the most organized inventory of any Breaker game, right? Like, Breaker 3 and 4 have the problem in it where you will get duplicates of parts because they have that whole random skill system, so they want you to, they want you to Neo it where you're combining parts and all that. But in Breaker 2, that's not how it works. In Breaker 2, because all the parts have just their own inherent, like, stats and skills, and you only have, the way you have, like, the more unique customization is just, like, modules, which are kind of like, they do still have modules in Breaker 4 and all that, but, it was only that. You would only have to build something once. Or twice, because it might be a component to another item, so, like, if you do a derive merge of parts, then, okay, well, now you have to rebuild it. A lot of the really high-end parts in Breaker 2 required CAD data, because the idea is you're printing the part. Unfortunately, they fucked up the drop rates, and almost every CAD had a 0% drop rate on launch. So it was just impossible to get some of the parts on launch. Now, they fixed this within, within, I think, like, the first week. But because I'm me, and I went so hard in on the game with friends, there was a point where we were playing and we're like, we're having a lot of fun with this game, but, there's some parts we would like to build, like, specifically it's weapons, like, it wasn't ever the mobile suit, like, body parts, like, those just are drops, but, and like I said, once you get the part, you're done, you don't need to get, like, multiples of it, it's fine. The problem with the CADs is those were for weapons, so it's like, oh, I really want the Peacock Smasher from the Crossbone. Well, we need to get the CADs for it. Well, where are those supposed to drop? Well, the mission says this one, so let's keep replaying this mission. Wow, we've replayed this mission 10 times and it's not dropped once. I wonder if there's something up. And it turned out, yes, they just had 0% drop rate. Like, and it's just like, oh, okay. Thank you, Bamco. It feels like a glaring oversight to do right during release in your grind-heavy game. Especially because Gundam Breaker 2 also had the issue of the stages were very long. Like, Breaker 3 has very bite-sized stages, and Breaker 4 especially has very bite-sized stages. Breaker 2 is like, oh, you're on an open world map and you need to travel through 6 quadrants of this map. And so you're just traveling across, and every time you hit a certain point in the quadrant, enemy reinforcements appear. Which was fun in idea. It just translated to every single story map takes about 20 to 40 minutes, which, is kind of a long time to be playing the same map.
Yeah.
Especially when they had underwater maps where if you weren't playing as an underwater mobile suit, your speed was halved. Or the other one, which was the Great Canyon map, which had the little issue of, it's a big canyon and there's pits. And if you drop in the pit, you only take a little bit of damage, but it respawns you at the beginning of the map screen. When it's kind of a large screen.
Sure.
So, Gundam Breaker 2 is, I think, really interesting, and in some ways, I think 3 and 4, kind of, like, do that thing of oversimplifying some ideas of it, But then again, it's not like it was perfect. But, like, here's, like, a screenshot I have from, Gundam Breaker 2, just to share this with y'all. So, like, Gundam Breaker 2, would have it so, like, oh, you can jack the enemy's Dodai, which you can still, like, do in 3, but it had much more meaning in 2 because this is a large bridge with, like, gaps and stuff on it. Or like if I
Mhm.
pull up another, let me see, do I have any pictures of me playing on the Great Canyon? No, I don't think I do. Unfortunately, this is one of those games that's very crashy on the PS3 emulator, so I only did a little bit of it.
Mhm.
But it also, admittedly, so Breaker 2 is a PS3 game, right, and not a PS4 game. I think that Breaker 2 actually has the best looking shaders for the graphics, weirdly. Because the lining, so the panel lining when you do panel lining in Breaker 2 is very apparent. The game isn't cel shaded, but it has a very high contrast look to the designs. And a thing I noticed is that in the PS4 game Breaker 3, even though it like uses a lot of these same models, they don't work the same way with the sliders, like the weathering and the lining especially. It's a lot more subtle on the PS4, and I think it's worse off for it.
Mhm.
I think Breaker 2 actually is my favorite, like, visually of the games, because it has, like I said, it's just a very high contrast, like, very poppy kind of graphics to it. Like, even when you have, like, the weathering on, like, I have some weathering on my custom Pale Rider here. I just, you see what I mean, right? Like, looking at because
Yeah.
you play Breaker 4 and Breaker 3.
Uh-huh.
So, it's just got, like, this, I think the models just look a little better. And I think that when they imported them forward, because they did, just import a lot of the models forward, it didn't go good. Oh, also fun thing from the Breaker folder. I had the 4th most looked at profile for a little while. Because
congratulations.
Because they had what you could do, because it's a PS3 game, you can't take screenshots. So what you could do is connect to your Gundam Perfect Games account, and you could upload your designs, and it would show them off to everyone. Which was really cool, and they had that in Breaker 1 and 2 both. Which was, it was just like a neat little feature, because, there was not a way you could really share your design unless you were playing multiplayer with friends. Oh, also a stage that I love in Breaker 2 that I can't remember if it's in Breaker 3 or anything. The Gundam Cafe stage is so good.
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh. It's got the mugs. It's got like all the unique Gundam Cafe stuff. It's just the actual table. It's great. That's what all the challenge stages in Breaker 2 were done in like real life settings. So like you have the story stages that are done like with their doing the in-universe stuff. And then you have all the challenge stages where it's like you're fighting on a pile of Gunpla boxes or on like a desk and stuff, which was a really neat little thing. Anyway, ramble about Breaker. I've made this now a long episode, but whatever, I don't care. I had fun.
I do want to shout out one last. So when the Breaker Battlelog designs came out, there was one that I wanted to like, but just couldn't come around on, which was, of course, the Perfect Strike Freedom, a design that I liked some things about, but just didn't come together. And you know what I'm going to say, which is the problem was the colors, which is why the Perfect Strike Freedom Rouge fucking fixes it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, one of the problems I have with, like, the Perfect Strike, and with the Striker packs on the Strike Gundam, is I just think the mismatched colors always bug me. So yeah, the Strike Rouge fixes it. There.
Yeah.
Alright, 6... Now, where can people find you online?
What even was the original machine we fucking talked about? I don't remember anymore. The Mirage Frame. Mirage Frame.
Yeah.
You can find me on Blue Sky at 6stepmar, SIXDETTMAR. You can also find my work at scanlinemedia.com, patreon.com/scanlinemedia, and you can talk with us over on the Scanline Media Discord and make requests if you want. Dylan, have you already done yours? I feel like you haven't.
No. I always lead with you first, and then I do mine.
I guess that's true.
Yeah, you can find me at lowpolyrobot, .busky.social on the Busky. And I just post stuff there. Recent game screenshots I posted there where I decided to play through Dragon Age Origins again because I haven't played it since I was in high school. Honestly, I'm liking it more than I thought I would. It's actually a pretty fun game. Plus, I never played all the DLC stuff that was there originally because when I played it, I was playing it on a 360 in an era where I didn't have internet. So, yeah, I didn't have, like, Shale in my party or any of the, other little bonus things they threw in. But yeah, no, I was enjoying that. And then, that's basically it. I was just posting about that because that was what I had played recently. Posted robots because I post robots. And yeah, that's it.
Well, I don't really have any good quotes from Gina, let alone, fucking
Clone.
carbon copy
Yeah.
Gina. But I might have one from Guy.
Oh.
The Force can have a strong influence on the weak-minded.
No!
Peace.
No!
He's using a mind trick.